Authorities committed misconduct in a case that sent a Wilkes County man to prison where he is currently serving a 20-year sentence.
James Miller was convicted of having sexual relations with an underage girl in 1998, a girl he later married. The story received national attention back then.
Well, today the Miller case is under appeal amid allegations that authorities broke the law to help them win their case. Bill O'Neill joins us with the story. Bill?
Wilkes County authorities are accused of tampering with evidence and making a secret deal with witnesses in the case. Now, it's not unusual for someone convicted of a crime to lash out at authorities and make such charges. But 12 investigators found in this case the charges raise serious unanswered questions. 6 years after a Wilkes County jury convicted him of having sex with Rachel Handy, James Miller maintains he was targeted by local authorities out to get him. Did you have sex with Rachel before you were married?
No, I did not.
Now 36 years old and locked up inside Avery Mitchell Prison, located in the North Carolina mountains, Miller is fighting for a new trial. Acting as a jailhouse lawyer, he's filed his own appeal with the federal court in Charlotte. The appeal makes two claims: that North Wilkesboro police removed photographs from evidence, and that prosecutors had a secret deal with 3 women who testified against Miller. Evidence from the trial, including testimony and photographs, implicated all 3 women of sexual misconduct with Rachel Handy. But authorities never charged them with any crimes.
When the authorities come and questioned me, I was really scared because they said that it was up to the DA.
One of the witnesses, Emily Call, says she was frightened. Authorities would arrest her for having sex with Rachel because they had pictures of the 2 of them posing nude. She says she didn't have a deal per se with authorities, but says investigators made it clear she'd cooperate or else.
You knew what "that's up to the DA" meant.
Mm-hmm.
You had to play ball.
Pretty much.
Well, you could sit next to James.
I wasn't going to sit next to James.
Call says although authorities pressured her to testify, she told the truth about James Miller having sex with Rachel Handy. Jennifer German, another state's witness, told a nationwide audience on the Lisa Show how authorities pressured her to testify against Miller shortly before the 1998 trial.
Did the police tell you that they would charge you with indecent liberties with a minor and child pornography? And child pornography.
German later testified in court that James Miller had sex with Rachel before they were married. She also admitted having sex with Rachel herself, but was never charged.
The testimony of the girls was the key thing.
Miller's attorney, Greg Brewer, says the women were never charged because they had an unwritten deal with the district attorney's office. Brewer says he learned about the deal when he tried but failed to have the women charged with sex crimes.
Mr. Graham Greene came over here to my office, made a personal visit to tell me that they could not prosecute these girls because there was this understanding.
Under North Carolina law, the DA's office is supposed to disclose to the defense any deal or understanding with witnesses.
They've got to disclose that, and it never was.
Brewer raised the issue of the, quote, understanding in open court. The prosecutor, Graham Greene, however, did not respond to the charge. 12 investigators contacted Greene for comment on the alleged understanding, but he declined comment, citing the pending appeal. However, in an affidavit filed 3 years ago, Greene said when he took over the case, he also questioned why charges weren't brought against any of the female witnesses. He says an SBI agent informed him, quote, that he had discussed that issue with then District Attorney Bern Harding, and that she had made the decision that the aforementioned witnesses were not going to be charged due to their current status as state's witnesses. Greene never says in the affidavit that he asked Harding, his boss, whether or not there was a deal. Harding, who's now assistant DA in Forsyth County, told me in a recent phone interview she doesn't remember the case. She added she generally doesn't make deals.
You're convinced, though, that there was a deal?
I know there was a deal. Why would anybody come in and admit to a Class B1 felon that would get them a life sentence if they wasn't sure that they wasn't going to be prosecuted?
Miller's second claim against Wilkes County authorities accuses police of tampering with evidence in the case. The evidence, photographs taken from Miller's home. During the trial, North Wilkesboro Police Detective Butch Holland is questioned about the pictures. Quote, have these photos been kept in your care and custody since they were seized? Holland answers, they have. And have you added or subtracted or altered these photos in any way? Holland answers, no, sir, we have not. But at a resentencing hearing 2 years later, Holland admits he gave one of the pictures to his boss, police chief, David Pendry, a picture that included Chad Pendry, the chief's son. Miller claims Chad Pendry, a friend of his, later told him how his father, the police chief, confronted him with that picture.
He said, how do you think I felt, James, when Dad brought pictures of me and Rachel home and threw them on the table and said a very bad word, and how do you expect me to get you out of this mess?
According to court documents, Chief Pendry later returned the picture to Detective Holland.
He removed photographs from the evidence. That is enough to get anybody a new trial. The victim, in my case, says this never happened, but yet they can still convict me.
James Miller still believes his former wife supports him and his fight for freedom. He also believes witnesses such as Emily Call will recant their testimony against him in a new trial.
Fascinating case.
It is.
Thanks, Phil.